very much indeed, Laskin Corla. To answer Deputy McNamara, we will power this state using our own natural resources. We will have to share and balance with our neighbouring countries, Northwest region, Europe, but the way we'll power our future in the most secure way, the most competitive way, is through renewable power. It's through the immense renewable energy resources we have. And they are absolutely technologically available now and cheaper and cleaner, and we have them in abundance. You're shaking your head, but the analysis, the scientific... Well, we're already delivering. And we've some 40% electricity now coming from...
Is there one off the west coast?
There is one on the east coast. We will, if I can answer your question, we will develop offshore in phase 1 in the east coast. There is one within the possible development of the Skerja Rocks of Connemara. The second phase, and the consenting of those will come, subject to the consent being approved, this month. They'll go to auction this year. They will go into planning next year and into construction once out of that planning process. And this is what every country in Northwest Europe is investing in. This is the reality. This is where all the money is going. We had a meeting on Monday of Northwest European energy ministers. We did a joint declaration, Germany, France, Holland, Belgium, France, Spain, Denmark, Sweden, Norway. And the UK is actually ahead of all the others, that this is the future. And this with the country where our sea area is 7 times our land area, and it's the most windy part of the world, it's absolutely achievable. It'll take huge political effort and organisation, but it is equivalent to Arden and Crusher of our day. It's a similar, actually, moment where we rely on our resources, our capability, and there is real capability. We heard from various people at the conference on Monday. It was an Irish company. Mainstream is one of the biggest developers in the UK waters. They're actually doing it. The ESB are doing it too, at scale. So we have real ability.
Floating wind energy.
Fixed wind first.
Floating wind energy.
Floating wind energy, and I don't want to go into a complete debate, but it is debate. Now come stream, at scale.
Where?
In
which is in the east coast of Scotland. Where?
There was an auction process this year in French waters. And every company investing in it with the expectation that it will come down in price in the same way that fixed offshore wind has done. So we will move in the second phase into southern waters as well as other western waters, and then further west into western waters. And the advantage of this power supply is that we can convert it through electrolysis, which is a working mechanism, into hydrogen and ammonia that gives us a storage and transport and other fuels that can power our country. To answer your question, the medium-term prospect. It will be combined with solar and onshore wind and use of biomass, but that's the primary source. Well, if I can, again, there's immediate response we have to do, but what we're seeing is those stations starting to be converted to one of the other storage mechanisms, which is battery storage, which will be a huge and significant part. On board Nimona, a company that's absolutely thriving at this present time, expanding and investing and creating employment and using international resources, as is Coillte, as is the ESB. We have real skills and capability. We've looked at every aspect of that. You cannot, some people here...
Minister, just a minute.
Sorry about this.
If you're going to have an interchange, you just...
I should be careful.
Yeah, well, whatever about being careful. We'll do it through the chair.
Through the chair.
Yeah.
Through the chair, we cannot be in breach of European law, environmental law. Because we are a country, we are a sovereign government which is also a member of the
Why we have to kowtow to Europe all the time?
Through the chair.
Disgraceful.
We are a country which believes...
Minister, please. We're going to let the Minister speak uninterrupted. But Minister, please, let
In the county that you're from, that could power the second biggest county in Ireland.
Deputy, you're
And we're talking about Europe telling us what to do. We can bring out an emergency order if a minister wants to do it.
No, I'm going to let
It's so frustrating.
I'm going to let that go, Deputy. I know it's frustrating, but if you could let the Minister speak, I'm going to let that go. Okay. Now, Minister, please. If you could speak uninterrupted, and if you want to engage, you're going to have this.
I won't engage. I'll try and avoid that. Just to say to you, Lascan Corla, you know more as much as anyone that the rule of law is important, that the rule of law gives us all protection. And in the European, remember the European Union, which has hugely benefited our country, we do have to adhere to the law. On energy policy, there is a policy equation they call the trilemma, that there are three things you have to get right. We have to have clean power, we have to have secure power, and we have to have affordable power. All three will benefit from the green revolution that's taking place here around the world. To answer some of the deputies who asked earlier on, will we see the development of photovoltaics? Absolutely, yes. And the changes to the planning system, which will allow it easier for Irish households and farmers and schools and businesses to apply PV. That's happening right across the country. And yes, to answer for a direct question, I think was it Deputy Batchik or Deputy Whitmore, we will introduce this month, start the process of introducing that scheme for the most vulnerable households to give them power in this difficult and vulnerable time. And to also answer one of the deputies who asked the question, yes, we will. The commitment made this July in terms of anaerobic digestion, we will introduce the mechanisms where that becomes for farmers a new income and for us a new source of security, because that too is part of the mix. It can provide some 15% of our gas needs by 2030. And we will deliver that, as every other European country has done. It's not rocket science. We just need political commitment here to make it happen. And my experience is that the Irish farming community know that that's where the future income is coming from, that that's something where they can get and be part of this energy future. Secondly, in terms of secure power, yes, we have a tight situation in our electricity markets, primarily because the auction in 2019 didn't deliver some of the backup generation we need. We're resolving that by procuring and purchasing the capacity that didn't come through that 2019 auction. Yes, we will need storage as part of a balancing system. We'll publish on Monday the CEPA report which outlines the options, and I think it will show, and I will certainly have the view, that this should be state-led, not corporate interests. That we can do that in a way that gives us security, but doesn't blow our carbon budgets. And actually is future-proofed, which is able to take and use that hydrogen power, which is coming this decade. That is why the Dutch minister was in Cork on Tuesday signing an agreement with the Port of Cork, because they believe this is deliverable and can happen. That's why the German government is similarly signing memorandums of understanding with us that that is the future and they want to be part of it with Ireland. Thirdly, in affordability, and this challenge at the moment is a factor of 10 more significant than the other two immediately for our people, because we are exposed, because energy has been used as a weapon of war by Putin. And every deputy in this House has the interests of the Irish people in heart when we address that challenge. We are under attack, and this government will defend our country and our people to the best of our ability. We will do that by providing direct credits. We will do that by providing social welfare payments. We will do that by providing business supports, as we've done, as we've showed we could do through recent years. They have, and if I can, through the chair, Carrie, look, the reason for that is what Putin is doing. The fact that you cannot, Lascan Corla,
please, deputies, please.
Lascan Corla, I think the deputies opposite do themselves no favour when they deny that reality. That is the reality. Because what has happened is the Russian government has switched off the gas taps to Europe.
I'm going ever before the war. Everyone knows that.
That's right. They started before the war to turn off the tap. And that is the reason why gas prices are 10 times the historic. If you do not believe that, well, then I do not believe you're serving the people or constituency, because you're not reflecting the truth. The truth is that we have to protect ourselves in the short run immediately from that crisis. And in the medium and long term, the way we protect ourselves is by developing our own resources, developing our own fuels, and be part. And lastly, can I say to those who spoke down about the need for us to take climate action seriously, this summer, say that to the people in Kenya and Somalia and Eritrea. Say that to the people in Pakistan. Say that to the Irish people too, because it is a reality that we can no longer ignore.
Thank you. Deputies, I understand frustration and I understand passion, but this is downright rude. Now please, we'll have some respect for the Chair and the Speakers.